Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning. It is March 26th, Thursday, and we have a huge economic report coming out. Every Thursday we get unemployment claims. Normally this number, 75,000 on a new claim, something like that. This week they are expecting 1.5 million unemployment claims. So we're going to sit here, we're going to watch it live. How are you guys? Oh, we got a bunch of people coming in. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and click that like button. And for those of you new or you're watching on replay, I do have to remind you, if you want to find us, please click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Otherwise, it will be hard to find the stream when we go live because Google kind of throttles it and things like that. So, with that said, let's look at where we're at here. Yesterday ended up being a pretty good day in the end. I mean, I did good on the short side. But you can see there was a further push up late into the close. But then afterwards we're down a little bit. I really think this area is going to be tough to get away from. You can't see it very well. I need to change this volume profile, but yeah, there's a lot of volume in this area, so we might be stuck here for a bit. Here we are, the treasuries. Treasuries moving up just a little bit. I don't know. I've kind of been wondering if the treasuries can get back up into this 139 area. Maybe it's possible, but you know, every time that they've been up there, they've had a hard time holding it. So we will see. We will see. Okay, so we got a couple of things to fix up while we're waiting for the number. Justin Carroll says, I think it will be 4 million. Oh, man. I mean, so this is going to be really interesting because we had an update yesterday. It does look like the positioning going into the news so far is short, particularly in the E-mini. It does look like that the Treasury futures, they are going long a little bit, but not a huge change in cumulative delta. So people are trading it, at least. We'll see if there's any orders in the next 10 minutes, because that's really the kind of the area that we kind of pay attention to, right? Best intro on YouTube, says Eric. Hey, thank you. Actually, I should read it.
Eric says best intro on YouTube.
Thank you. We put a lot of work into that. Because if you're new, you got to know what the stream is about, right? And I think that gives you a pretty good idea, right? Let's see here. Oh, yes. So we got to fix this chart up and make it look the way that we want.
Justin Carroll says I'm basing this on Google Trends searches for unemployment office, apply for unemployment, etc. compared to previous weeks.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, let's fix up our chart here. I want up bars to be blue, and I want the outline up to be blue and the outline down to be red, and I want these ones to be dotted lines, and I want the wicks to be not there. Apply. Excellent. Some of those have down bars, these right here. This we don't even need, so I'm I'm just going to make these transparent. There we go. Okay, and then this right here. Well, we have 1 minute on there. We need it, but we don't necessarily. These should be boxes. How was I doing this before? Yeah, these should be boxes and they should just be all transparent. 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 Okay, cool. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to add also multi-period candles, I think. Value. Oh, no. We're going to use boxes. Oh, why is it not? Oh, well. We'll fix that. Down bar should be orange. Where are you, orange? There you are. Orange. Dodger blue. I know you're in here somewhere, Dodger blue. There you are. Okay. And this is going to be our one range chart. Apply. Oh, we don't need tick replay. Excellent. Okay, on this 10-minute one, I'm going to make the opacity really light, like 20%. Cool. There we go. Excellent. And then we're going to add a few indicators on here too. Indicators. I'm going to do this over here. You don't cover everything up. One. Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is.
Vincenzo C. says it is a good intro. I might steal it.
You might steal it. The whole pattern. Well, I tell you what. If you are streaming on YouTube, I would highly recommend you make something like it. Yeah. I say that we have the downbeat hot pink. How about that? Hot pink is cool. Ah. There's our bar point of control. Yeah, I think we're good. I think that was all we had on there before, was it? Hmm. Oh, well, I'll tell you one thing is that we got to get rid of the labels because I hate seeing that stuff on there. Apply. We are applying these all to the 1 minutes, but the number that I'm getting, oh, maybe not. We need to come in here to the data series and get rid of all of the labels, all of the price markers. I don't need the price marker. Don't need the price marker. Okay, we got about just a few. Oh, I'm almost there. Almost there. Race against time. Will Seth have his chart ready for the unemployment report? Find out next time on Dragon Ball. No. Okay. Oh, I know what's missing. This needs to be calculated on price change. All right, there's the news. It looks like a bit of selling off of it. Oh my. And I'm waiting for the number. Continuing jobless claims at 1.8 million. So higher than expected. Higher than expected.
Jerry is awake says good morning.
Oh. Hey, whoops. This one has to be on each tick. There we go. For some reason, it's not drawing the thing for me. Okay, so they sold that first, but now they're moving up. Well, another problem. Another problem I've got here. Square.
Jerry is awake says wow acting like a rabbit's jumping all over the place.
Well, they just jumped a good 20 points up, didn't they? They're still having trouble at the high there. We'll see here. All right, cool.
Gary Rich says we ride the roller coaster this morning. Get some.
Yeah, I'm not going to trade it. I'm going to wait. I'm having trouble with this chart again. It's not calculating right. There's a lot of things wrong with it, in fact.
Jerry is awake says I'll just watch the cars fly by. I don't like playing in the street.
All right. Okay. But the number... on price change. I'll just take a picture of this. So I'm getting this weird thing where it's like, so here you can see the indicator. It started a new 1 minute bar, so you can see it, and then like halfway through it was like disappearing. Need to start paint over here. Just move it back over here. They are the same. I have like two charts of this. Yeah, this just this weird thing where if you can't see the previous bar, doesn't like this line should be extending over. You know what I mean? Well, we'll just see what happens. It does look like it's matching my other chart now, though, so that's cool. So they sold at first, and now they're moving up.
Gary Rich says I enjoy calling out suckers rallies. Step up, I have whole lot of lollipops to give out. Fade these rallies.
I think you might be right, Gary. Well, I don't know. Why might this be happening? Maybe a lot of people thought that the report was going to be bad.
Jerry is awake, says LMAO.
And so when the report came out, it was bad, and then they took their profits. I mean, it's something like that. You see that? It changed the candle again, and I'm only seeing that little bit of it. If I expand it back enough that I can see the previous bar, then it shows it to me. That's so annoying. I wonder if
Justin
I can
Carroll
fix that.
says I was close. I predicted 4 million.
Well, it was you must be talking about the overall claims, huh? So where was it?
Gary Rich says
Oh
the
my
next
gosh.
few weeks the claims are gonna be high.
When it came out, I said 1.8. Where did that one go? Initial jobless claims what? 3,283,000. 1,000K? Wow, that doesn't make any sense. Let's read it on Forex Factory. People watching on replay right now are like, "What the heck is with this guy? He doesn't even know what he's talking about." Okay, the unemployment claims was 3.283 million. GDP quarter over quarter was in line. Goods trades balance better than expected. Wholesale inventory is down negative spot 5 versus an expected spot 2. The numbers I would say are all bad. Yeah, they all look bad. Oh, that's interesting, guys. Okay, well, while we're trending up, I do not feel comfortable with this uptrend at all. I am kind of leaning towards what Gary said, that I want to short this at some point. I think that there was just too many people with options trying to go short into it, you know? I don't see how you have an unemployment report 2 times as many claims as we should tweet about this. Oh, The number was twice what they were expecting, and they rallied. Is that for real? Am I looking at the right instrument? There's got to be something wrong with my screen. I'm just like, I don't believe what I'm seeing here. Something just seems off. So weird. Okay, now maybe. Where is it? 43. And just do our kind of our little test order. No, that's not too encouraging. See, it said 43, but then we were already too far away from it. I was like, well, maybe they're not going to give me that. Okay, there is some significant absorption around 44. Yeah. Oy, 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 oy. It's okay.
Justin Carroll says, well, maybe it was already priced in with S at 2,200 on Monday.
I don't know. I really would have preferred 44, but even that would be going against me quite a bit, huh? Oh well. We'll just let's be more careful about our price. Let's see, they might come out and stop us out and then have a push up and exhaust, and then maybe we can take it. Okay, so now a little bit of battle. So Treasury's telling me. There's that big stack at 21.5. Okay. Now I'm getting it. So they are sliding down a little bit, but he's not pushing it. If he does, they could smack it down right here, and it might just plummet. If they go for it, let's see. You never know, but there's a possibility that they just like totally smack it down there. Well, that's they pulled it out that time. Not ready to give it up yet. There's a relatively big order that traded down there too.
Justin Carroll says back in 2016 on election day I did similar analysis on Twitter looking for I voted for Trump, I voted for Hillary, etc. to predict that Trump would win. I wasn't surprised at all when he won.
I don't know. Given the amount of, fake or unattached accounts on Twitter, I would be surprised that would have been, that might just be coincidental, Paul Krugman, bear in mind that the absolute worst of the Great Recession, we were losing 800,000 jobs per month. So this is at least an order of magnitude worse. Wow. That really puts things in perspective. Okay, so it did give us the signal now. Now, Bernie Sanders, it's interesting that the media is pushing Bernie Sanders' speech last night. So for those of you that didn't catch it, there was a hiccup with the Senate bill last night where there was language that essentially the way that it worked was you get unemployment is like $800 a month or
Gary
something
Rich
like that.
says I watched a great show yesterday. Biden briefing. I lost $50. I bet he would fall over.
Oh my gosh. That one, I did end up watching that and I was like, what the heck? Like when they posted that they were going to do that, everybody was said that it was a bad idea, but you would think that they would have been more prepared. And it was just a complete disaster. Like, I just can't, man. Anyways, so Bernie Sanders speech. So basically the gist of it is if you make under $24 an hour and you get laid off, you will make more money from being laid off. And there's no reason for you to go and find another job for 4 months because you'll make more from the unemployment. So Republicans were like, well, we don't like that. We're going to offer an amendment to fix it. So they put an amendment to fix it. And Bernie Sanders was very incensed about this. And he said, oh, you just hate the poor people so much and all this. And it's like, no, actually, it kind of like hurts, the entire incentive system to get people working and so forth. But I don't know if it's really as huge of a deal as the Republican senators were making it out to be, but I do think that it was a good idea to put the amendment up. But it failed on a tie vote. Can you believe that? Something like that fails on a tie vote. I just can't believe you make more money from being unemployed than you do from being employed now. For some people, it's just mind-boggling to me, but that's what happened. And Bernie Sanders gave this big speech going after people that for voting for this pretty sensible
Uzi
proposal.
Knesset says we're considering taking our company under the table. Lay off everyone, keep them working, instant raise for all employees and we can save money to recover lol.
Right, Uzi? I just like, this is a problem. I don't know if it's like a huge problem, but it should not have been done that way because you have a great example here. Uzi has some employees. He can lay them all off. They get paid more in the next 4 months than they would if they were working for him. And then at the end of that, he can hire them back up and everybody wins. Like, that's so messed up. All right, so there's getting some buy coming in. This one is going to come
Uzi
up and hit our
Knesset says
line
it will
and
be a
maybe
huge
bounce.
problem. No reason to keep a business above the table paying taxes.
Oh, it's so weird. Oh, so you think it's a really big issue? That's okay. This one might.
Uzi Knesset says oh no, I'm talking about laying them off and still employing them and just not telling the government.
Oh, jeez, don't do that. All above board. Make sure you consult with a tax lawyer or something. I don't know how that works. Man, still, the whole thing is just. But the thing that I find so mind-boggling is that it failed on a tie
Uzi
vote in the
Knesset
Senate.
says it's funny, but I'm telling you, small businesses will do this left and right.
Man. Well, but that's where I'm saying, like, I'm not sure if it's like a big deal because, like, those people will make more. The question is, what's the aggregate damage to the economy in the end from that? You know, I'm always thinking with the stick analogy is like, what creates GDP? You know, if you're stuck on an island and you go and you climb a tree and grab a coconut and eat the coconut, according to Keyes, that would be consumption, and that increases GDP. Or you climbed the coconut and then you sold the coconut to somebody else and they ate it. Then that would be that would add to GDP. And I say, okay, yes, but you can only climb so many trees in a day. And if you want to increase the number of coconuts that people on your island can eat a day, you have to find some innovation that allows you to pull coconuts down the tree faster. So, what if you found a stick, a really long stick that you could use to push the coconuts down? See, that would increase GDP. And so I'm always thinking from that perspective, okay, would this have an aggregate effect? I don't know. I don't think it would, but it would depend on how many people would like lay people off, and then in the end, just be like, oh no, it's fine. We'll just leave it. Now, what's with this bar? I have a little yellow line there. Is that my candle? Or maybe it has to do with my 1 minute. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it for now. Well, they did come above my line. I still think there's a good chance they're going to turn back down. Mm, hmm. They're actually so close to the high there and not really gunning for it yet. That's really odd. Let's hmm, okay.
Gary Rich says LMAO Jim Cramer has a dark suit today. When markets are positive, he wears a light color suit. He looks like his dog died.
He
I'm loving it.
changes his suit based on how well the market's doing now. Huh. All right. Hey, you know what? I have an idea. Instead of doing it on a 1 minute chart, let's do this bar POC on the 10-minute chart. Okay. Might not show up for a while. Okay.
Gary Rich says yes. It's so funny. There's a Twitter thread of Kramer body language. Kevin Wimmer
He's
says
an
just came
interesting
back
guy.
from lunch and saw the numbers lol. Next
Right?
Friday gonna be a bloodbath. PMI and non-farm payrolls.
Oh, man. Well, here's the thing. Uh, you're talking like depression type of numbers, aren't we? I don't think that you'll get a depression. I think that the depression was caused by poor monetary policy that we don't have, and so you won't get like a depression, like a run on the banks and all that sort of stuff. I also still think that a lot of the factors that are causing this are temporary, but the question is, how much damage is it going to do? All these small businesses lay people off, you know. They're not just going to turn around and hire everybody back on, are they? I mean, they could, but I don't know. Mm, that one's already. Uh, like as soon as I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should ditch this one, they go up and they do that thing. Yeah.
Kevin Wimmer says so it jumped up because the people expect the Fed and the government to intervene more?
No, I think that it jumped up because there was just too many people with positions on. I could be wrong, but I don't. There's a point at which the Fed and the government is going to intervene stops being a incentive to buy things. You know what I mean? There's a certain point at which it becomes, oh crap, things must be really bad. I don't know what that point is. I don't think that I would be trying to play it that way. I just kind of see a kind of a strange imbalance where these guys they sold cumulative delta didn't change. We bumped up. Now we're kind of getting the aftershock waves from it, and there's like this downward pressure that as of yet they haven't been able to really break them down on the downside. Like we did catch that short little move, but it didn't really go. 3.28 million Americans applied for unemployment benefits. I mean, and that's a lot of money that they're gonna. Okay, here he's doing it again. Is it gonna take it to the high? No, at least not yet. It could also just be that they've decided that the number doesn't matter. Hmm. See, now this looks like an exhaustion stop run. Well, we're way past we've way worn out our welcome. So, dang, that hurt. Really tried to manage that, but it just did not. Yeah, that hurt. That hurt. Well, it could still turn down. I'm still gonna put this in here. Actually, I think I would rather be somewhere right there. Okay, there was a big order at the top. Okay. So this is still they're coming down to the spot where there's like potential momentum shift and not going for it. Oy. Oy. Okay, so now they're back to this bar open and they're fighting.
Uzi Knesset says I'll tell ya what though, all 23 of our employees have been off for 2 weeks for shutdown, we go back on Monday, these people are dying to get back to work.
Oh, I bet. We got a real issue here because what is being told to us about the risk and why we're shutting everything down doesn't match up with what people can see in their daily
Uzi
lives.
Knesset says turns out sitting around and getting paid by the government isn't something even unskilled laborers consider purpose in life.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like I was at first of the opinion that this probably isn't as bad as they say. Well, this is still just giving me trouble. Anyways, um, I was initially said, well, yeah, it'll have an
Jerry
impact.
is awake says my employees don't get any time off. Uzi Knesset says I got a friend in France who swears this is the end of the EU.
Maybe. I initially said it's going to be short-term impact. It's not going to really hurt things so bad. And then Italy happened. And then when Italy happened, I had to say, well, I got to be wrong about something. So now we're coming in here, and it's been a week or two, and the bad thing hasn't happened yet. Now, the bad thing isn't expected to happen yet. The big thing isn't even going to begin for another week or two, and we're saying that it will peak in like the beginning of May, right? So, meanwhile, so many people that I talk to here in Utah don't even think it's a thing. They're like, one person died here. We have like 300 cases. There's a lot of studies coming out that suggest that a lot more people have it than what is shown by symptoms. But then, uh, you know, this is just is not happening here, and nobody believes it. They all think that we should just go back to work and that it's not a thing. And then you got this thing in New York. New York is supposedly going to run out of hospital space and just absolutely get destroyed. Does it actually happen? I mean, everything that we're being told says that it's going to happen, but nobody that I know believes it. Oh, that's an interesting little iceberg there at 2464, 400 on the micros. So yeah, everybody wants to get back to work, and how are you going to tell them no? Yeah, too slow. Too slow, Seth. And I probably caught the worst spot, huh? The 65 level is being kind of interesting. So a bit of absorption there.
Uzi Knesset says amazing to see 3.3 million unemployment claims not crash the market lol.
Right.
Uzi Knesset says markets like, nah, I did that already, lol.
Well, I'm wrong. I mean, I was wrong. I got that trade wrong. And we tried playing the aftermath of it a couple times short, and it's just keeps going up and going against us. So you just sit here quietly and be like, this makes no sense. They've got to be going off of something else. They must all be thinking that they want to buy the equities before everybody gets their stimulus checks, or I don't know. Doesn't make much sense to me, though. There is this high of 2,500. There's also the 71 area. I don't know what that was the week. Oh, that was the overnight open. So we're right at the overnight open. Ooh. Are we?
Gary Rich says give it 20 minutes till the open, we may be singing a different song.
Oh, sure. This might just all not matter, but I have to say it was a pretty strong uptrend, though. See, here's like the bottom side. Shorts aren't pushing it again. Like they're not even getting it below The volume just keeps pushing higher and higher and higher. You're never getting volume on the downside at all. Okay. So here's a new 10-minute bar.
Gary Rich says I wanna see Kramer's head explode. I'm laughing so hard the dog thinks it's playtime.
Because he was bearish coming into today, or what? He must be really dehydrated. Okay,
Gary
this
Rich
move's
says no,
different.
he is a drama queen.
This one's different. I mean, here's the thing that I think is so funny about Jim Cramer that I really don't think most people understand. He is a complete lefty. He's got a picture of himself painted as Stalin in his on his set in the background. It's him, like Stalin, and he's proud of it. Like I mean, he's not really a communist or anything like that, but he is like an establishmentarian Democrat. He's like the guys that were like, well, I would rather have Biden than Bernie, and you know, his views don't always align with what the reality is. He's really good at what he does, but sometimes he's wrong because he's extremely ideological. He just has the ability to disconnect his decision making from his ideology. So yeah, when you can he'll kind of do and say weird things at some from time to time when there's politics involved in it.
Gary Rich says read his book Confessions of a Street Addict. Wow, what a something.
Oh, I hadn't read that one. I read his Mad Money book. I thought it was really good. Like all of the criticism about him and being a bad analyst and everything, you go and read his book and then you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, it's all nonsense. Because the way that people try and judge his show is not the way that the show is intended to be used at all. Like when he has a company on,
Jerry is
and
awake says nice hourly bar so far, but I remember all that glitters is not gold.
uh, he'll have like a CEO on, and he'll say, "Oh, it sounded really good," and then the people judging him will say, "Oh, okay, so Kramer is recommending this stock now." No, 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 no. Like that is like if you already own the stock, like can you hold it or not? They almost never want to make a move into a stock the first time that it's mentioned on his show because they raise their price on you and you get a bad price every time, you know. And I think his charitable trust is, sometimes outperforms and sometimes doesn't, and is not nothing
Ace Trade
particularly
says
special.
morning.
Hey Ace, I took one of our shorts.
Gary
And it
Rich
just didn't
says
work.
he was great running hedge fund, but a psycho nut.
Yeah,
It's a great book, you won't be able to put it down.
yeah, I have to add it to the list, I guess. I don't know. There's a decent amount of volume trading here at 68, but it's not. And I'm still having issues with my indicator here. Like my point of control, it's
Ace
not.
Trade says was it profitable?
No, it didn't work out. But I was trying to make it run. I think that maybe it actually did give me enough to have taken it. Let's see. Yeah, actually, that one. Those ones did go. I keep trying to short it though. Like I'm trying to do something else and it's just not working right. They're still up. I mean, out of my mind. This might just continue until the open. I think I should just sit.
Gary Rich says at Ace, how's the crude trading coming along?
Crude trading. I guess something that we could do if we really wanted to play this that might be smarter is to buy the treasury over here.
Ace Trade says took along already, made some money.
Yeah. See, I didn't really see. Oh yeah, so here was where I went short. At around
Ace Trade says now headed down.
2440. See, now it's hitting it. All right. Man. I wonder why. Oh, it's because this moving average is going the wrong way. So does that actually end up saying long? Yes, it does. I don't know about that one, Ace. I think I gotta puke it soon. That one might be like this might be like the worst situation. Yeah. Like it probably won't run away on us, but it's gonna be choppy here now. But this is a buy. Man, some people on Twitter are trying to predict next week's unemployment number, and some of them are even saying it's going to be even higher. Unemployment to 8%, probably. This Ian Shepard says. USD takes another leg down. It says Forex Live. Oh, maybe that's related too. Oh, yeah. 6J is moving up really hard and the treasuries aren't. It's probably creating upward pressure on them, though.
Gary Rich says Seth, why don't you try YM? It's the same $5. You can scalp inside of 50 points versus 5 PTS. Stops can widen versus a mini stops. I get it, a mini is for big boys.
I haven't looked at it. I have to go and do the stats. I was hearing that the YM is actually not as risky, right? It's deceptive because it moves far, but the tick
Uzi
value is so
Knesset
much
says
less.
just gotta get around those 10 tick spreads, lol.
Yeah, I mean, the way I'm trading today, it doesn't matter. I'm playing against the trend over and over again for some reason, and they're just squeezing me out over and over again. And that one was really bad.
Winston's mom says good morning. Speculator Seth good morning. Day traders and we have less likes than watching, so please hit like it matters Seth. Lol. Gary Rich says I'm used to wide spreads.
I like it tight. Oh, and look, my treasury trade already stopped out. God fucking grief. Well, we would have been past our point. I should be pointing out after this one. Probably we should stop. That last one though.
Winston's mom says used to wide spreads, and why does that sound naughty? Gary Rich.
I think that this one may actually go at some point, so I'm gonna be stupid and hold it.
Lucas says morning.
Good morning, Luz. Okay, well now the E-mini has given us a little bit of fight ahead of the open.
Gary Rich says we used to scalp 1 to 5 pip styles when spreads were 9 and 12 in Forex.
Um, I don't know if that kind of scalping would work for me. I've thought about that, like, oh, here's a spread if I could get 5 or something, but I don't usually see a spot that would give me a high enough probability for something like that to be worth it. Look at that. I'm not quite sure why it's doing this, but I need to build this up over here. Oh my gosh. All right. The total is over 1,000. It definitely would stop to trade it. These are sim orders, so like, ugh. So this is kind of a weird spot too. Is I'm sitting here like, okay, like what should I do when it doesn't matter? I think that I should take a step back and just like reset, because even if I catch it, that doesn't really help me in trading. So let's just sit back for a little bit and wait for another short. Sure, pushing it up strongly going into the open, which makes me really suspicious.
Lucas says you had some decent results yesterday.
Yeah. No, I've had some good results. And the thing was, is I only took really only one or two of those were really justified, and I would be down 10. But even then, in that situation, I would be, you know, the larger issue here is that I really needed to have been going long. Like the trend bias is all jacked up.
Lucas says, are you still journaling trades in Journalytics? I remember when you used the emojis to tag trades.
I haven't been doing that lately. Or maybe I should. The problem that I had with it was that I wasn't so
Lucas
sure
says
that.
back in like 2018.
Yeah, the thing was is I didn't really feel like the ones in Journalytics, the way that I had that set up really helped. Just because I think I know where problems are. It's just a question of knowing when to stop. Like today, eh, live trades would want to stop, right? Certainly don't think that I should take 3 shorts in a row and lose. No, 6 shorts in a row and lose. But I'm gonna take shorts. Again, here it is. Here's my short. He's gonna bounce off of it first. That's not what I wanted. There we go. One thing I will say though is if we on the open they go short and they reverse that bar at 24.10, that is such a strong short setup that if we get down there, I'm swinging for the trees. Still positive. 5 seconds for the open here. Ooh, shorts. Shorts. Long's fighting it. Overall, a lot of selling volume, though. Yep, I played that one wrong. Hmm. I feel crazy. Like I'm sitting here like, how can I be so far off? How can I be so far off base right now?
Kevin Wimmer says horrible numbers equals shorts getting squeezed lol.
I just don't understand. It's got to be something else, you know? Or maybe traders gonna trade. I don't know. This kind of action is something for the longs comes back and bites you in the end, you know? Like I could short it forever and ever and ever and be wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong. And by the time I give up, they're gonna turn around and go short and it's gonna be an amazing short, you know? That's the way that this one usually
Lucas
ends.
says wow, look at volume in MES here.
Yeah, there's a lot of trade going on. I'm pretty skeptical. And there was that strong opening bar, but they're already consolidating and trying to turn it. I see the short swing is going to come in here. We'll see what they bring.
Kevin Wimmer says I mean it fucking went more than 100 points in 1 hour. Winston's mom says traders gotta trade, that's funny.
Yeah. But say it all the time. Traders going to trade. When we say, hey, what's up with X thing? Traders going to trade, guys. It's that simple. How did my average position end up being that? Okay, whatever. Whatever, doodah.
Lucas says what will
Whatever.
Winston's do?
Come on. Thank you. How come I'm not getting my lines? Where are my lines? It's fighting it.
Kevin Wimmer says nah man, I am not touching the Amini right now. Would get destroyed with this crazy volatility. Preferring oil right now lol.
Oil. That's
Gary
funny.
Rich says just shut it down, put your head down, book the crying closet for endless time.
Probably.
Lucas says you don't use stop Seth?
I've been just using a panic button right now. These are sim trades though. I'm not gonna trade it this way, right? We're gonna, when the volatility comes back down, then we'll come back to, a standard stop and profit and everything else like that. But right now, it's like I'm just trying to give myself maximum flexibility. It's been working really well, but remember I was saying when I was like, well, here's the results. Like we showed you guys the chart the other day.
Kevin Wimmer says I remember the good old times, like 2 months ago where I could have 5 to 8 ticks stop.
Yeah.
Right now I would need more than 20 ticks stop.
Right.
Winston's mom says Winston Ferret would smile with his goofy funny puppy dog smile and then duke for a duck heart.
But remember I showed you the results over the month and it was actually quite good. And I was mad about it because they said those aren't realistic. And the reason it was not realistic was because I got it through some bad tactics. And this is where this today is just a great example of where those tactics will come back and bite you. So I'm giving them a lot of room, and I'll take a few small ones at the beginning and then size up. And you can see here with this action, it's not going well for me. As opposed to what we want to do, where I just take one order and take 8 ticks, right? Wouldn't work in this environment. So don't worry about it. We're just, we're practicing. We're having fun. Some of the things that I'm doing are not things that I would recommend trading like. I just really want to catch the fucking short. God, this one is a one that I also really cannot recommend fighting. Here, let's see if we can get it to turn around on us, huh? All right. Revenge. No. Doing this thing.
Lucas says but you catched it, you had like 3 points or so on that short. Lucas says unless you are going for big swings, then I get it.
I'm going for big swings. Like I was expecting to make like $500 off of that or something. Yeah. Now this is weird.
Gary Rich says going for 8 ticks with a 40 tick stop, that's present reality.
Yeah.
High VIX equals wider stops when scalping. Trade like a Border Collie rules. Soon to be Amazon bestseller book.
This makes me extremely uncomfortable. Really
Lucas says they fought you so hard there.
Right? It's like he's watching me. Like that's where it really starts to mess with you, right?
Lucas says and now they go.
Just, so when I see a volume node like that, I think that you still have a pretty good chance of catching your target, but the whole thing just makes me really uneasy still. Like, I really don't think this is sustainable. Yeah, this is not right. It is moving differently. Can you see? I'm not sure I can explain in words what I'm seeing, but it is not behaving right anymore. Like before, it was behaving like, okay, here's a possible short, and then we're going to screw you over, and here's a possible short. Now all of a sudden, it's becoming extremely volatile and random.
Kevin Wimmer says if you like scalping Seth, then check out the European and American settlement in oil. Like 11:25 minus 32 Chicago time for European and 13:25 minus 32 for the American one. Honestly, yo can get some decent 7 to 8 T.
Hmm. I don't know. Like, I
Lucas
think,
says before I would follow Ace's rules and wait until 15 minutes past the open, now I
yeah,
will trade half an hour later from the open cause it's insane action for me.
right. It is pretty insane. They're doing something here, man. I think this is going to turn 25-12, 25-12 and a half or so. There might be another leg up, but something's changed. And shorts are actually pressing a little bit now.
Gary Rich says Seth you don't go into a gunfight with a butter knife. It's dog eat dog. Machine on
Yeah.
machine. Not fiction but fact. Lucas says look at 5 minutes, seems buying pullbacks are the plays.
Well, like I said, wouldn't be trading it this live. We put the money in, we wait until it's our action again to be taking it live.
Kevin Wimmer says they are my favorite times to trade honestly. Small stop, small target. I recommend to do some research, when to get in etc. usually if they fake a level and always the same time.
Well, I do kind of enjoy when I can just, like in the ZN, when I can just take one tick over and over and over again, and I have a really good probability of catching it. But I do think I am better suited for swinging. I really do. I just don't think that everything else in terms of the time that I have to trade and the amount of cash that I have and everything is suitable for swinging.
Lucas says intraday swinging.
Yeah. Well, probably not even intraday, but just trying to catch, you know, the the larger daily move.
Gary Rich says this is the time to practice and drill on faster time frames. You will begin to
Yeah.
develop faster reaction and respond times. It will help long term.
I have gotten a little bit better at picking spots. Sometimes I still pick the absolute worst side of it, but see, like here on this one, 17 was not a bad place to get short. So it is definitely behaving differently, guys. I should probably stop watching this one because it's really over here where it's doing the stuff. You know what? This is not right. It's not doing the momentum tell. There we go. All right. That might help a little bit. Seems to me like sometimes that there's these runs that are much wider in the micros, but I might be wrong. Maybe I didn't have the momentum tells, and maybe that's why I thought that. Okay. Well, they filled that one really nicely. It's still tepid though. Like we haven't gotten a big down bar or anything like that. They pull back quite a bit.
Lucas says beginning to see some exhaustion from longs here.
Yeah. Well, the order flow has definitely turned the other direction. In fact, uh, we're getting close to being outright short in cumulative delta, but we're not even close to where the open was yet. So I don't know. I was finally able to catch my runner. So that change in order flow that we had after we got above 2,500, that's something that I'm gonna definitely be keeping an eye on from here on out. That kind of a change. So I've never detected something quite like that before. It's kind of calmed down now, but before that was really something else. Okay. So they're building a little bit of support, but the 10-minute bar is still down. Oy. So now it's doing it again, right? All of a sudden up here, it's fighting really furiously and it's getting really fast. A lot of trade in a tight area as well. And then they reverse them. Okay. Wow. What was the open again? 93.50. This is going well, but I still feel tilted. Still feel tilted. Like you can still see it in. Well, I don't think you can see it in my face, but I can feel it in my face right here. I'm just not happy about it.
Gary Rich says these guys moving the goalpost back. Headline Dow best week since 1938. What's next? Dow best week since 1801.
Right. I just don't. The price move like well like when they say this is the biggest down day or the biggest up day, it means nothing anymore because of the degree of the liquidity and everything. They're moving everywhere. It doesn't actually like normally best day ever would be like, oh well, that's the bottom. It could tell you that, right? But the volatility as such is that those just don't matter, and we still really have no clue what it's going to do and where it's going to go. Hmm. So it's kind of turned positive here again. It's really trading furiously.
Lucas says Seth, when you speak away from mic, it sounds lower than the robot on the stream.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this
Gary
microphone.
Rich says just confidence building. Best week since the dinosaur walked the earth. What a joke, these jerk offs.
This microphone is a dynamic microphone, which means it doesn't have its own power, and so it will only pick up things that are like directly in front of it. So if I'm way too far back, it's not going to be even half as loud. And I'm kind of leaning into it, but I don't know. Sometimes I think it's okay. I changed the sound a little bit for today because I had too much bass in it yesterday. I listened to it. But you're right. I pull back. I need to not do that. And it's hard because it's just not as loud in my headphones. But it looks cool, so I don't know. See, this is getting retarded, man.
Lucas says I see lol. I have to adjust volume if you are away and then it's too loud for live chat.
Yeah. So the robot is a lot louder than me. Even this close, she's a lot louder than me. Because I know that we have a lot of headroom. Like, I could turn
Lucas
the
says no,
robot
it's about
down.
even.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying to not talk over her anyways. So wait a second. Is that
Ask Our
going to be
Money
a new
Machine says hi
high?
Seth, what is your view from here on SPX on the next 3 to 6 month?
I have no clue, dude.
Bots
I
says looks like you got it from your buddy Rush Limbaugh.
no. He has a way different microphone. He's got a Neumann.
Winston's mom says speculator Seth, use the cool looking mic as a prop. Don't plug it in and plug in the better microphone.
Oh, he doesn't have a Neumann anymore. He has a what do we call that? Is that an electro voice? is different. It's a very different microphone. The golden microphone, supposedly. No, that's not the golden one. Is that? I thought he had a Neumann. I guess not. Maybe he needs a dynamic mic too. Mm-hmm. This is Elvis's microphone, right? What I really need is I just need a better stand for it that can get
Lucas
it
says, "Oh, a
closer
hanging
to my
mic would be
face.
cool."
Yeah, I mean, I could get it to hang. I could get one that hangs, but then it would obstruct my view. So I've been avoiding that. Well, I don't think I've ever been more wrong in my life in trading than today, man.
Lucas says you're left. Lucas says it would have to be from the other side.
Yeah, I mean, I had the thing that was coming in from over here, right? But this microphone is a little different, so I can't use that stand for it. But I kind of feel like that this is the way it is right now is fine. I just need to
Vincenzo C
maybe
says
be
from
more
here,
conscious
Seth's
about it.
volume is perfect.
Cool. I cannot explain this behavior. The thing that is really weird to me about this one is when it was at the bottom, it just kind of turned like it was no big deal. Like,
Winston's mom says give it time, there's probably more wrong ahead if speculator Seth is anything like most of us. Lol and Seth, check out Dave Sundstrom's channel. He does old school television and has a good setup.
I'm so wrong today. I just, I feel so confused. I still feel so
Gary
confused.
Rich says Seth call the wife plunge protection team to help scalping.
Maybe. I mean, there's a reason why I'm not trading it live right now, for sure, right? And a lot of this has not really been on plan anyways, but it doesn't change that normally I'm pretty right on in terms of the way that the action is going to go. That one, where I got a good short, and then it turned around towards the open, and I did not see it at all. Did not see it at all. It just turned. It's incredibly confusing. I do not see the bull case. This has to be some sort of insane short covering rally. Because none of the flow really makes much sense to me.
Lucas says market is being chaotic today. I think you had good
Yeah.
calls, but maybe today required having tight stops and taking profits quicker.
Well, yesterday that's what we did. But yesterday the action was very different, wasn't it? And the other thing is that rush was so much stronger than the first one in volume in terms of cumulative delta. There's really
Bots says you're supposed to trade what you see, not what you think.
well, I did see. I mean, that was the thing. I was taking it on red bars. I was taking it into my thing. Now, if I had taken the 8 ticks on those, then they would work. So I can't say that the strategy itself is broken. But what do I see? Like seriously, what do I see? I see that we had this huge unemployment claims number that we were looking at, and we were expecting 1.5 million unemployment claims. And that was a really big, like, oh, that might be the biggest ever number. And then it was twice what they were expecting, and they bought. And I say, you fade that. You see the reversal signal, and you sell that. Whatever. Look at how much it come back. It's not. I wanted that one to run, and it didn't. Here's this thing. You can trade what you see and still be wrong, right?
Gary Rich says my advice: drop a lot of those Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory charts. Scale back to simplicity.
No.
Lucas
Hold
says,
up.
but that's
Hold
not
up.
what you see, right?
Hold
That's
up.
what you expect to happen. What you are seeing is market going up.
No. If I see a reversal, then I see a reversal and I take it. And if I see a market that is trending up, or if I see continuation, then I'll take the continuation. Okay, but I'm never seeing those continuations. When I do, they're not going. Okay, here's the thing. If you want to take something out of this, because you're going to say, well, you can do this or you can do that, you can trade what you see. No, trading what you see is an illusion, because what you see is a construct of your head. You can see something and be completely out of your mind. So the only solution in this situation is to understand that you're completely out of your mind and don't trade it live. That's the only solution there, guys, is if you're that off kilter with the market. Because otherwise, you're just going to completely always changing things, and you're always going to be behind, and you're always going to be subject to your cognitive biases and screwing it up. Well, anyways, continue. Let's see if they go up again on me.
Gary Rich says, sorry Seth, you are not confident in your construction of your analysis or charts and charting.
Has nothing to do with confidence, Gary. Every strategy is going to have a time period where it doesn't work well. Right? The solution is learn how to deal with and limit the damage of tilt days, because you can't avoid them. You can't. You guys are trying to come in and say, well, we can avoid the tilt day by, no. You can't. We've tried that one before. It just makes things worse. We will just trade it on sim and be wrong over and over again. It's fine. We can do that. We're allowed to do that. $34. Okay. We are trading a little bit more volume on the bottom side of this than we are on the top side of this.
Winston's mom says, Gary Rich, do you read Dean Koontz? He loves dogs. When he writes passages about a dog, you are mesmerized. He often writes about golden labs and their preternatural intelligence.
Well, they made a new high there, but only just a tiny little bit.
Gary Rich says you are getting emotional over silliness. Stop this plug and play toss stuff. Add this new thing every other day. It's hurting you. Lucas says I
What?
watch
We're
those
not
dog
mad.
speed competitions sometimes. Gary's dog is smart. Those are fast dogs.
I really don't know what you're talking about, Gary. You're right. I am emotional. Like, this is the whole fucking point. I don't think that you guys understand what I'm saying. So let me back up. I am fucking tilted. It pisses me off that they had the biggest, by a factor of 10, unemployment claims you've ever seen, and it was twice what they were expected, and the market bought, and that every time that I'm seeing a short, that they cancel it out and that it doesn't work. And that the couple of continuations up that I tried to take too didn't work. It pisses me off. Absolutely. 100%. It pisses me off. Guess what? Someday you will be trading. Something will happen that will piss you off. It's going to happen. It happens because trading is hard and you're wrong sometimes. All right? There is no strategy that's perfect all the time. It gets it right all the time. It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. Because, and one of the primary factors is you. You as a person, you can be wrong. You can trade your strategy wrong. You can have a view that's wrong. You can just have an emotional state that makes you see the market in the wrong way. It happens. And the point is, understand when that's what's happening to you and act accordingly. And the smartest thing to do when that's happening is don't trade live. Right? We have a strategy. There's a certain market in which that strategy works. This is not that market. So we just kind of trade it and have fun until we get back to that market. And if the market isn't cooperating, don't fight it. Don't bottle it up. Just just go with it and let it happen. Because you're when you try and fight those emotions, you're just gonna bottle it up, and it's just gonna blow up on you later, and you're just gonna end up losing even more money. Give me a break. Scream louder. I'll enjoy it. Scream louder. Get pissed off. Fix it. No, there's nothing to fix, dude. There's nothing to fix. I'll tell you why. Because none of those trades were live. I knew that this was a bad spot to trade it, right? I knew that this was a bad spot to trade it. So I don't understand how getting pissed off helps anything or anyone. Well, there's no. It's not about helping anybody. Well, no. Sorry, let me rephrase. No, it does help somebody. I think it does. I think that it helps some people to realize that bad things happen in trading to everybody, and that expecting perfection all of the time is unrealistic, right? And that for your emotional well-being, sometimes the best thing is to just let it out. I'm gonna go to 25.50. Well, that seemed to be concerning to me. So, okay. So then the other thing was, Lucas, I don't want to interrupt you, but your lung is working out. Yes, it did, but it doesn't change the fact that the trades that I'm taking on the strategy are wrong. That wasn't the strategy. Well, maybe it was. That was like it didn't work in reversal. So maybe. Hopefully jobless numbers will be 6 million next time, says Rand in chat. Oh man. But I mean, this is the thing, right? We've done it before when I'm completely off kilter with the market, and I've traded it over and over and over again and trying to turn it around, and it never happens. Even with this, even with that good long that I have, it doesn't even make a dent in all of the screw ups that I had earlier. That would have been, um, would have blown any account doing that. So the key is how early can you understand when that's happening and stop? I don't see how this up move is sustainable. I guess they're coming up to yesterday's high. Well, we'll just wait. We're just gonna try and play it the way that I'm supposed to. Let me turn you guys back on.
Winston's mom says animus is defined in Jungian typology as your shadow self. Your Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde, your chaos to your balance.
Well, I'm normally really reserved, right? But I decided to do that because I didn't think that we were saying, well, why don't you change this and why don't you change that? And my response is, it's not going to make a difference because we're tilted. Well, let's try it now.
Lucas says one thing I don't understand though. You are tilted because the market is not doing what it's supposed to be doing based on jobs numbers?
Well, I don't know necessarily. I mean, those are all things that play a factor, but when you take a bunch of losers in a row, it tilts. And the point at which it made me mad, because I certainly could see when it happened, they sold and then they moved up, and I said, well, there could be a number of reasons that it could move up. There might have just been too many people short, for instance. Yeah. It's doing this again. I should have been more patient on that one. Okay, now it's coming back down to it. Let's just pretend that we don't have it. Okay, I could take it, sure, short. Bouncing a little bit.
Lucas says oh yes it really tilts you. I shared my performance a couple days ago on Discord,
yeah.
had a really good run and hit my daily goal but took a couple of bad trades and it all went down from there. Lucas says I couldn't figure out why.
Right. Well, and the thing that I'm starting to learn is, well, first of all, I mean, it's unavoidable. Those situations will happen to you someday.
Vincenzo C says I think figuring things out is overrated.
But the thing that I'm kind of that I learned very early on is that it's extremely difficult to tell when you're like that.
Lucas says what? That makes no sense.
I don't know what I was saying. I had a bunch jumble of thoughts. Let me restart. Point number one is it happens to everybody. At some point, it's going to happen to you, where you're going to be
Lucas
on
says
tilt
no,
trading.
not you, Seth. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Vincenzo C says try figuring women out. Good luck. Kevin Wimmer says the next important level is yesterday's high. Maybe a level to play a short.
Yeah, but it's still giving me
Bot
the
says
short.
sorry, I can't agree that anger is an emotion that can help anything he's dealing with. It won't help him become more aware of how the market is behaving, nor will it help him not lose money.
No, it will. Well, no, it won't. The key is to understand when your emotion is affecting your trading in as much as it makes you ineffective at trading. Right?
Bot says anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Twain.
And what will happen if you go in with something and you say, in trading, I can never feel anger. In trading, I can never feel unhappy about my trade, because if I do that, then I will be an ineffective trader. You're right. When you're like that, you're an ineffective trader. But guess what? The more you fight it, the more that you say that I just can't have those emotions, the more damage it's going to do when that when that point comes where you've been pushed too far, right? This is why accounts get blown, is because we can't, uh, the inability to recognize when you're in that mode and stop trading. Jeez, how much damage can we do here? That was like a really good short. It's doing it again, where it's starting to become extremely erratic. Starting to become extremely erratic again. Anyways, so I'm saying acknowledge that you have emotions when you're trading and be aware of where you're at and factor it in so that you know when to not trade, right? Hmm. Did you read One Good Trade Author Runs a Prop Firm? One morning he got early to work and found one of his traders screaming and raging at the computer for a loss. He was like 300K up later. That's funny. Well, and I mean that's another thing is if you have the ability to recognize where you're at and fix it and then come back, those can be really positive situations. But wow, that that was awfully bad. We could take it up there, but that's probably not the best spot to be in. Maybe 50. Not even that. So I tend to be pretty quiet. And that's where it was like, I don't think that probably it's not always immediately apparent. I try to tell you. I said I feel crazy and I feel tilted. I don't think that registered, so that's why I started getting mad at you guys. So that you understood. Emotion and mental state of mind should not be a factor. You have to be numb. Emotions will kill an account trader psychology. You can't avoid it, dude. You can't avoid it. You're a human. You're a human, not a robot. Sorry. Would be nice if we were robots. How much higher do you think that this thing can go? We still haven't beaten yesterday's high, have we? Oh, it's at 60.50. All right. I thought that we had already touched it. One more push and we touch it. There. Man. Okay.
Lucas says I have to agree with Seth. It's not about not having emotions, it's about how you deal with them.
There you go. That's the right way to put it, Lucas. Thank you. Thank you. And all I'm saying is my experience has been that if you're in that state, it's probably the best thing to just stop trading. Because not only are you tilted, but usually there's something that got you to being tilted. And usually that thing is that this isn't a good market for your strategy, right? So maybe you stop and take a break and come back and trade it. And man, it's just going out of here. I'm not. Cannot even. So the thing that I find is like 2450 was like a target, you know? So like above that, I start to go like, okay, that's maybe not. This part might actually turn down. My oh my. The battle is coming in, that's for sure. try. Maybe not. I was going to say I want to try and campaign here a little bit and try and give myself a bit more room. Okay. That's a little better.
Kevin Wimmer says just pushing through yesterday's high. Just crazy how the buyers killed the shorts. Lucas says markets are nicer now. My session begins. See ya later.
Okay. Good luck, Bretta. Bretta. So this one is going okay. They haven't crossed my line yet. I don't feel quite so tilted. I still feel a little crazy, like when I say crazy, I kind of feel that's like I feel so certain about something and it's not what's happening. What's wrong with me? How can I be so off about something? You know? Hmm. They're definitely battling around this 10-minute bar, and the buyers didn't just like automatically win, so maybe it could turn down this time. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking though that I would like to adjust a little bit again. So if I can, maybe I didn't need to do that. Darn it. Should have kept track better of where that last order was from. Okay. I think it was from 60. That's way better though.
Kevin Wimmer says it just fascinates me. The whole EU session was looking short. We were close to yesterday's low in the Amini. We got
Yeah.
awful numbers and they just pushed through yesterday's high. 170 points since news.
Well, I think that would have to say that a lot of the action going into the news was a bet on the number being bad, and it probably was the case that too many people were short. There's also a case to be made that we ended at the highs yesterday, and so a return to those levels makes sense. uh, it's just kind of the way that it's done. It seems kind of off to me, you know. Like even here right now, this would be a really good short, and it's kind of like when I feel like that it's really working, and then it kind of comes back, you know. So really hard for me to determine if that's like it. You know, like I probably could have taken profits on almost every single one of these trades, but I'm not seeing that turn, you know. Hmm. So here's down. Well, let's see if they make a new 10-minute low. No, not yet, at least. Kind of slowed down there. And just kissing it now. Oh, there it went. And then they got it, and then it rallies back. It pulls back really hard. Back to the 60 again.
Bot says we're almost in the middle of the 10:15 to 10:45 counter trend
Mm,
period. Smash the Bid says my opinion is you have to turn your trading almost robotic with very little subjectivity. If everything is so subjective you have no clue if you need to fix yourself or the system.
well, I do think that you are correct in that the less subjective your system is, um, the more consistent you will be able to be. That's almost certainly true. But I don't agree with the idea that being almost robotic is an attainable goal. It's not. It's not the way that we are. Just as an example, PTSD. Okay, not that I have PTSD or anything, but when a person has PTSD, do you think that they sit down and they say, "I'm choosing to be extremely panicked and freaked out by this innocuous thing that just happened that puts me in absolutely no danger"? No. What happens is there is an emotional memory in your brain down here at the base of your spinal cord that when it sees a certain stimulus, it triggers that emotional memory, and it will automatically send triggers to the emotional parts of your brain and your body to trigger reflexes, to save yourself from that situation, even if the situation isn't happening. And you have literally no control over it. There are things that your brain can do that you don't have conscious control of. And if you're in a certain emotional state, you can try and pull yourself out of that emotional state for sure. But you don't necessarily have control over that stimulus happening to begin with, you know? Hmm. So this one is acting a little bit different.
Winston's mom says our primitive impulse, our basic fight or flight instinct is our ID. Freud explains this as a rider on a horse. We steer the horse, but if the horse senses danger, he bolts. Do you mean pineal gland? Smash the Bid says I'm not saying mistakes won't happen. Nobody is perfect. But most don't even know if they have edge. Bots says counter trend period does not mean we will get a reversal, it's only a period of time where we often see moves that go counter to the general direction price has moved since the RTH open, pullbacks. Winston's mom says the four sides of our mind, ego, superego, conscience, moral and immoral urges, and ID. Freud's horse.
This one is acting different. Like it would have already have run really hard against me by now. But it's still kind of hanging out, rotating around where my okay, rotating around this area that I've been rotating. So let's just see. This 10-minute bar did turn blue, and that was a pretty good up bar too. Yeah, maybe we're just gonna have to ditch it.
Winston's mom says did Joseph Smith advocate for meditating? Do the Mormon teach
I
about
don't
our
know.
organs and opening those chakra centers through meditation
No.
and or science?
No. None of that. As far as I can tell, the reason that meditation helps in trading is that it can help to reset the chemical state of your brain cells that may be too resistant.
Bots says note we also get a new hour open at 10:30 right in the middle of that counter trend period.
And it's 8:30. So far that that hour has been green but it was 25.50, right?
Bots says just something to be aware of. Winston's mom says 19 watching now. Will everyone please hit like? Thank you.
I don't know if I believe in this shorts yet, but I'm still going to try this. Get that. No. Okay. It's not helping. The way that I played that didn't help. Again, kind of a weird hammer kind of formation at the moment. Or it was potentially going to be that. Okay. Well, if this goes, okay. That improves things a lot. Now my average position is way higher. Is it really only 8:36 right now? Okay, well, that is the first big down bar that I've seen. The 10-minute is actually still blue after that. Huh. Huh. I've been wondering, my point of control thing, you can't even see it. I have it as a square. It's not even there. So let's try a horizontal line. Hmm. That one wasn't bad. It was just a little bit short. Obviously, it would have been much better to get it up there, huh? Look at the cumulative delta on this chart right here. So here's that first initial move up. Big pullback. Move up again. Lower low. Lower high. Lower high.
Air
And
Cages says money
delta.
printers go burr.
Not like a huge drop off in cumulative delta, but I am detecting, like, I want to say signs of exhaustion. My volume is moving down a bit now.
Air Cages says you okay, Seth? You look down.
I haven't had the best day, dude. This one is working. This is finally the trade. I don't know how far I get, how much
Air
I get
Cages
out of
says
it.
hello, by the way.
How are you doing? It's been late. Like, normally we would be quitting almost by now. Well, I should count my wins. I do get this indicator is working really great. I get this. Why, if the one side of the bar is not visible, then it just doesn't show it to you on the indicator. That is really annoying.
Smash the Bid says the point is, until you find something that is proven to work over a large data set, you will never have the confidence, nor the ability to trade like a
No.
robot.
I think that the thing that I'm
Smash the Bid
trying.
says I'm trading a strategy that has a 70% win rate 1-to-1 R completely robotic. This has been tested over a large dataset. With experience and a little bit of subjectivity, it can be in the 80% range.
Hmm.
Air Cages says, what did I miss today?
Well, I fought the up move in the E-mini basically, so I saw a bunch of reversals and I just didn't never got my trade. Now it's working out. I don't think that it's going to make up for everything that all the bad trades that I took, but I digress. Um yeah, so the one that I've taken or that the strategy that we're going to be using um has been pretty well tested. I definitely feel confident in doing it. But it requires
Bot says you missed Seth having a hissy fit.
a much lower average true range for that to work, essentially. So I've been trading at sim and I've been experimenting a little bit with campaigning, which is where I will try, I'll start a position and then I will try and scalp a little bit to build in some profit so that I can have a really
Smash the Bid
wide
says, is this
stop.
Aces strat?
Yeah, it is basically Ace's strat is what I want to use, yeah. The campaigning I was picking up from somebody in Discord. So the problem with the campaigning is that um it can work, but if you like miss one of your scalps, it can like really screw you over. So I think that I would need a little bit more range trade edge for this one to work, but it's a work in progress sort of a thing. I'm just kind of experimenting. But anyways, I was seeing reversals and taking them and they're not working out. And I was pretty far out of my mind. Okay, they're coming back up to this node that was at 2550 because I guess they pulled down too far.
Air Cages says, don't be upset, Seth. As long as we have our health, we're fine.
Well, so the reason that I got upset was that I was saying like I was being calm like this, and I'm like, well, I feel crazy, I'm tilted, this and that, and so people started making suggestions about, well, you should do this and you should do that, and it was like, no, the problem is that I'm tilted. When you're tilted, it doesn't matter what change you make to your strategy; it's not gonna help because you're just not in an emotional state to even make those changes. So today was a day where after the first three trades we should quit. And I did identify that. So I think we're okay. We can still mess with this, but I don't know. It kind of gave us a long there. If it comes back above 60, I'm going to dump it. Because that kind of eliminates the support that I had. Direction entry management in that order. Uh-huh. If you get tilted in sim, you'll want to see what you're like in line. Well, we just stopped trading, right? It does not take very much to get me on that. That's for sure. All right. All right. So try it again. See, it's like that. So like you didn't get filled on that, and now you're down. And then if you have to puke, you end up losing twice as much as you'd want. 25 points tradable there. I'm gonna get. Man, see, like that one just kills. Ugh. It could actually still potentially go all the way back down to 25.50. That one, I think I got caught chasing. Oh, at 25.50, I can go shorts. No, well, I'll wait. See, now here's the one where it's like, okay, I missed it. I should sell at 47. Then they'll come back. Now I put it back up. They're not going to fill me. See that? I'm so upset.
Gary Rich says just like Luke said to Yoda. I don't believe. Yoda said, this is why you fail. Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, I hate it.
Bots says thumbs up.
Did you go back up there? Oh, thank you. Oh, no, wait. It didn't. Okay. Never mind. Well, it's not happening. This is falling apart. Okay. So you see when that works out, now I have the option to puke way above where I got in at. Cool. But then that happens, right? And they're like, okay, Seth, let's come get your stop order then.
Air Cages says to be a successful trader you need to bury your emotions, you need to think like a robot, feel like a robot, act like a robot. Have you considered getting a lobotomy to kill these human emotions?
Maybe I should. That's what it is, guys. You just need a lobotomy. They are not cooperating with me, man. Oh, we just lost the chat. Sorry. Dun, 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 dun. Heard my name? Oh no, we weren't. We weren't talking about it. Somebody was asking what are we trying to do? And I was like, well, we're trying to use this scalping strategy that we learned from Ace, but not today. This is still like what too whippy. Like yesterday was okay, but today is not. I mean, I guess if you had taken a long down at the beginning, you would have had to have like gone long after the news, I would say, when I'm looking at it. Or maybe after this one at like 24:38, I guess would have worked too. But I don't know. This kind of looks like a stop run to me. I think one of the things that I've been trying to remind myself is that it's not a good trade when the money is coming out of the market. So like if a bunch of money came into the market short and now they're getting stopped out, that's not necessarily the best action for me. Oh, the gentlemen are picking on Seth for throwing a hissy fit. He got a bit ethos at one point. Humans are fascinating. Well, I think there's this thing where some people will think, okay, you got a little emotional while you were trading. That's not like a good thing, but it's fine. If we had lost $500, then that would not have been fine, right? But we didn't. We didn't trade it live. We know well, and I do believe I have. Well, actually, let's jump and check. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. It's still not there. It's kind of getting a little frustrating. I sent it on Friday. It's now Thursday, and it hasn't gotten there. Well, does it take 5 days for mail to get from Salt Lake to Chicago? I do feel that the bias is. Oops. Missed it again. Bad spot. How many times is that going to happen to me? Maybe it's just because I'm looking for 8, but man. Mm. It frustrates me that I'm so much on the wrong side of them. It's okay. I missed it. I have to go back and watch. We love him, but every so often a wolf has to teach a pup lessons to survive. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. So A's, I got mad at them because I was after the first one or two, because I mean I got legitimate shorts. I did. That didn't work out, and then after that it was obviously was trending. Then it didn't really make sense to fight it anymore. But I was tilted at that point. Like it was not. I was. No, it wasn't gonna matter what we changed, right? That was just the you gotta stop trading spot. So we're taking it on sim, so I'm okay with that. But like everybody was like, well, robotic this, and I'm like, it doesn't work that way. You got to admit when you've lost on a day and come back another day. So I was a little more open and outward with how I was feeling about it. Mm, mm, mm. Now it's telling me to go short again. It is telling me to go short, but this one's a little bit sketchy. There's a terrific Sandra Dee movie called If a Man Answers. Bobby Darwin, the Friendship Man, teaches her daughter how to train her new husband using a puppy dog training manual. Very cute. Man, cute film. Now, see, whenever I'm taking it, maybe this short works out, but I'm the wrong side of the range again. Even when I waited for it to come back up for me. It does work that way, man. You get a signal, you click a button. No, I'm not saying it is easy, but it is possible. No, but again, there's going to be a point at which your strategy is just going to fall apart, right? There's going to be that one market where you might be winning 70% of the time, and all of a sudden you're winning 0% of the time. It's going to happen. How you manage that is the issue, and what most people do. Not true. I'm telling you, it's going to happen to you. You don't believe me now. If it wins 70% of the time right now, the day will come where you will not be able to get a single one to work. It absolutely happens. And if you're getting, well, you said you were equal risk reward, so probably you'd be okay. But nothing works forever, apparently. The entire process of inanimate development of a man is about the male subject opening up emotionally. Does anyone remember the TV show The Golden Girls? I don't know. I'm just I watched that show, but I don't remember anything about it. Mm. Now it's down at the bottom again, and it's saying, "Yo, treat us short, Seth." Yeah. Look what it is. The only thing that can compromise my strategy is the slippage, or it just doesn't work. You piss off the wrong person, And he says, "Oh, I'm going to use all of the money in the world to just make him lose every time." Could happen. Probably that would never happen. I'm telling you, man. This move, I mean, the market that we've been in the last little while is the perfect example of this, because there was so many people that thought, I have this strategy and I just have to continue to do the thing every day and make money, right? I sell the options, I sell the volatility, and I hedge myself, and it'll all work out. And guess what? They got fucked hard. And the higher probability of a strategy that it is, um, the greater chance that you have of that strategy completely falling apart in a white black swan. Yeah, sorry, it's a black swan, right? Uh, See, now this is trading quite erratic as well, but it's doing it in an area where we could probably do that. No, buyers coming in and trying to support it. Maybe they'll shove them up. Seth knows it all. Part of your problem. Well, I'd love to see your stats and you can show me, but my strategy doesn't work in this market. Oh, why would it do that? Sometimes you just don't want to trade it. I mean, the thing that I think is so fucking funny about this is that I'm basically saying to you guys, here's a situation where probably no matter what I do, I'm going to screw it up and get it wrong. And you guys are trying to and you guys are trying to tell me, nah, you just got to have this strategy that works all the time. You're saying that Seth knows it all. No, I'm saying that there's a situation where I don't know. I have no clue why it's moving up. There's some theories. I have no clue how to trade this market. I'm trading it here and showing you how absolutely big of a disaster it is if you keep doing it. On sim, of course. And you guys are telling me, no, you just need to make this adjustment and not have your emotions involved in it. No, I'm sorry. 90% of traders lose for a reason, and it's not always because their strategy it doesn't work. It's that they don't know how to deal with it when it stops working. Everybody catches a little bit of something at some point. That's pretty bullish action. Probably didn't get a very good position. Are you following a system that has been tested? If you're following it, that is losing for enough. But if you're taking random entries all over the map, then that's part of it. Well, we at one point we did devolve into taking random trades. That's true. So like up until like these first four were trying to follow a strategy and it not working. And then everything after that was fuck it. This is funny as soon as I take it long. Hmm. I should have taken that at the 50 right here. It's a little too late for that. I guess I could try puking it all here and then getting back in up here. Or not. Hmm. It's definitely something weird going on here. I really thought that was a place that I could just reverse and have it carry me a little bit, and it just didn't. They stopped short again. It was like right here, this spot. It's not what I think it is. I think that it's broken and then it's not. See that? Mm-hmm. Now, smash the bid is just only comes in when we're having a bad day and says things for some reason. For all we know, he's just full of shit. Bye. Mm. See, I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm gonna get out. Watch them plummet now. Yep. When posts a dab.
No, the dab is this whole thing. Is that what those are? New emoticons. When did those come in? Custom emoji picture picker. Oh. They might. This might be like a bad spot to trade. Like, I'm thinking I'm seeing the edges of the range, and I'm clearly not. But they are very much rotating around the 2350 area. I guess it's 2353 now. By the way, why am I getting a wick? Glad I got rid of the wicks. Oh, I guess I didn't. I said 0. Does it allow me to do 0? No, it doesn't. So I guess you just have to make them transparent. And no ferrets. Are the ferrets not in the international emojis? Okay, well. You know what? I think that we should overlay on top of this. I don't know why that's gray. There we go. Okay. So this one. 640. So this one was maybe a little premature, but it was correct. There was points at which it was correct. This one was correct too. It just didn't run. I think woke up late and missed the ES. I tell you what an awful. I just traded so bad today, dude. So I think that I need to come in here. Where is it? Do I not have it in the right? Here is this one. It should be in there. I was expecting an interday reversal against the daily trend is, I think, where we were just kind of. I think that was the major mistake. Mm-hmm. It did turn very nicely. That's part of the other thing, is it gave you lots of opportunities to be wrong. I did call that top correctly. Oh yeah, I know why I did all of that. I wanted to see if I put on a 10-minute bar here on this. 10 of these, and make this line kind of more gray, like that. Yeah, and we need to, on the price change, and make it a little bit thicker, and don't auto scale. Okay. So now when we do that, I'm going to move it, shift, right? I wonder what is it with this problem. There we go. I want it in the back. I want to be able to see it, but I don't really want it to stand out. Okay. Bon Jovi has a contest. He wrote the first part of the song and wants someone to write the next part, maybe. I don't know if I would make a very good Bon Jovi song. What a disaster. I mean, there was a few buys in there. The one really good one that I got was a buy. The problem is so one of the things that really screws me up. Okay, so let's make another note here, since I'm realizing. Where did I put it? Did I close it? I remember people called them penny stocks, and you have this on your page. Do you trade in the penny stocks? They still exist. Don't worry. Is yours trying to sell this? No, he's not. He's fine. He's been around for he's been probably here from like the first stream. I don't know if he listens every day. He only seems to come around when we're doing badly, though. Okay. If tilted. Let's not say bring a target. Don't look. So I think that one of the things that happens to me is when I am tilted, I'm looking for something to like really run and like reverse the whole thing, and that never happens. You know? And I think that's one of the things that really screws it up. Because I ended up taking a couple of trades that were like a couple of them had a lot of favorable ticks. This one had 52, 30, 23. Well, it's way more against than favorable, but it wasn't actually terrible. some of these are pretty equal. So the issue was more not taking what was offered more than anything. Like this one went 81 in my favor and then went against me. That would have been the biggest winner. That would have like countered out everything else. Nope, I'm a fair lady, yeah. Oh, it ruined my tick replay. That's okay. Something wrong in here. Oh, 10 minutes. Okay. These should be transparent. Here we go. Yeah, I got these wrong. And this one I want to be blue, red, dotted lines. There we go. That's a little cleaner. Okay. I knew it was close. Oh, it was a little rude smashing, man. Yeah, it's probably about time for me to go. I think. Now I'm wondering here in this situation, the liquidity was pretty good, and okay. So a couple of notes, but I did identify when we had lost it 3 times in a row and said fuck it. Maybe next time when we're just doing it on sim, we just won't trade them. Then you guys will complain that I'm not taking the trades. I know that's what you guys are gonna do. It's funny. Okay. Well, I should get going. I will see you guys tomorrow. I actually don't expect tomorrow to be any better. Because it's Friday, right? Fridays always suck. When we get personal spending and personal income too, I mean, this is going to be and consumer sentiment. Oh my gosh, this is going to be weird numbers. I don't know about this. I am super hyper skeptical about this rally. The way that it played out and everything else like that is just none of it makes sense to me. And I'm just kind of have to say, all right, well, we'll just see what happens. It's kind of like everything with this thing. Like they keep saying, New York, it's going to be overrun. And do I not? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a virologist. I know that models can be wrong, and I know that they use models, but how could I say it's going to be wrong or not? This is just all. And then it's the same thing with it's now the I guess a part of what makes me so frustrated about this one, as opposed to other times when I just lose, is not only do I not know what's going on, but the rest of the world looks so confident that they do. You know what I mean? So, and just sit back and wait for when things work, when things are more in line with what we want. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime, don't do what I did. Stay proper.